Lots of issues on the minds of the nation's corn farmers, and to get an update on several of them, let's spend a few moments now with Chip Bowling, who is a Maryland farmer and current president of the National Corn Growers Association. Well, Chip, probably the top issue right now is folks are hurriedly reading the text for the Trans-Pacific Partnership. It is going to work its way through. Looks like most of agriculture has come out in support.
Yes, we have. It's good to see ag come together again for one issue at a time. You know, we need to increase our demand in foreign countries. We need to feed a growing world, and this Trans-Pacific Partnership is one of the hurdles to get this done.
All right, so as we look, all things considered, about every commodity should do well, do better, open up those other markets for those grains.
You're exactly right. You know, initially it looks like our livestock sector will have a little bit more of the advantages to this agreement, but that means they're going to eat more corn, they're going to grind more corn, and we're here to help them get that done. We're also hoping that it'll help other countries accept our biotech traits that are coming out, and that'll get, you know, corn going on ships and out to another country. And really and truly, it helps the whole ag economy, from your equipment dealer to your hardware store to your shipping companies, keeping people employed, and that's what we're all about, creating demand for our product.
Another issue you spend a lot of time on the Hill on and talking about is what we do now with these overregulations. The big one is waters of the U.S. and the impact it is having directly on today's production agriculture.
You're exactly right. You know, coming from Maryland, I've been dealing with the Chesapeake Bay mandate for years. We're still farming in Maryland, and we know that it can be done. The regulations are a burden on us, but we're working with it. When it comes to waters of the U.S., we felt like this rule was way overreaching. It affected way too many streams and ditches and low spots in fields that held water for a certain amount of time, and they don't really need to be regulated. We tried to get that point out to the EPA. We thought we were making headway. We felt like we still made headway. The door's still open. National Corn Growers has spent a lot of time in D.C. with the EPA and Ms. McCarthy, but when they came out with the final rule, not a whole lot changed. It is unworkable. Even the Corps of Engineers said that it wasn't science-based, and they didn't know how they can enforce it. So we felt like we had a pretty good leg to stand on. We got a reprieve from the court here a couple weeks ago. We're going to make sure that if a rule comes out, that it's workable for landowners and farmers all across the country.
Another issue, Renewable Fuel Standard, RFS. We continue to wait for the final announcement to come. Looks like it may come now by the end of November, but this war has once again, if I use that word, has appeared with oil versus ethanol, and really got into the halls of Congress in some traditional ethanol-friendly states. Some legislators are maybe having a different look. So talk about that. Talk about the positive action, the pro-action anyway, that NCGA is doing.
Well, again, it is the typical David and Goliath story. The ethanol industry has come a long way since the beginning of the Renewable Fuels Standard. Corn growers work very hard to get that in place. It's helped us as corn farmers and the whole ag economy for years now. It was working. It was creating a demand for corn. We're putting 10% in every gallon of gasoline that's out here across the country. We've got cars that run on E85 and they're running fine. You know, the President Obama is out here touting his energy policy. The Renewable Fuel Standard is part of his energy policy. We want to make sure that he sticks to it like he should, and that's our job, to make sure that corn and corn farmers have demand for their product, and the Renewable Fuel Standard is one of those ways.
We continue to hear a lot of stories of misinformation, especially when it comes to science. Corn is one of those. Social media has a tendency to really cause a lot of stirs. But we are seeing a near record corn crop again around the country. But talk about those efforts in educating and getting the facts out when it comes to not only corn production but today's modern agriculture.
Well, we're using, you know, Facebook and Twitter and all sorts of social media. We've got people like me. You know, I'm a farmer. I have to promote my product. We're a grassroots organization at National Corn Growers. We have people like me in every state in the country that promote our product in a positive way. We have other organizations like U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance that was organized to get our message out to consumers. So, we're doing things to let the general public know that our product is safe. GMOs have been tested over and over again by the USDA and the Food and Drug Administration. We know they're safe. You can't find anybody that's sick because of a genetically modified plant. And we know that it helps get those yields up to feed a growing world. The only way to get there is through increasing our yields and maximizing our sustainability and yield on every acre.
All right, Chip, thanks a lot. Thanks for the update.
Thank you very much.
Chip Bowling, farmer from Maryland, president of the National Corn Growers Association, has joined us. That's the Ag View. I'm Ken Rogers.